we found a post on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, asking us to rank the ceilings of these 4 players. I'm looking at Tyrese Haliburton, LaMelo Ball, Cade Cunningham, and Tyrese Maxey. Like, where do we start? Let's start with Tyrese Haliburton.
You know, at the end of the day, it's going to be, in order for me to rank any of these players, I'm going to have to start with their current body of work, right? All of them has been in the league less than 5 seasons. And so where are they now? What have they done? And how have they, added to their roster or their team as we speak? And if I think about Tyrese Haliburton and what he has transformed the new Indiana Pacers into, I'm really happy about that. I mean, come on, he led them to a really, really great inaugural season of the in-season tournament, if we want to be honest. I mean, it was a great run that the Indiana Pacers had. He was at the helm of that. And then if we think about what they did in the postseason of 2024, he was also a big part of that as well. I think that his year-over-year impact to not only what he had with the Kings, but also what he brought to the Indiana Pacers gives me hope that he will continue to move forward in not only in his developing more of his, his experience with playing in the league, but also his leadership. And I think that's where we're talking about where their ceiling is. I think it could be pretty high for Tyrese Haliburton. And I see him continuously growing in the league, and I think that's really good.
I mean, yeah, for the 12th pick in the draft, the 2020 draft, this is his second team, as you mentioned. I mean, but the funny thing is the Sacramento Kings, when he first came into the league, they didn't have no room for him. They didn't, Darren Fox and Tyrese Haliburton, they didn't need him. So really, for me, trading him to the Indiana Pacers should not be a knock on his career at all. 2-time All-Star, gold medalist, even though he didn't play, but
doesn't matter.
Nonetheless, he has the experience, right?
Yes. Yeah. He has the playoff experience. And we cannot forget, and that's for any player in the league, their situation, the team that they play for, is a huge contributor on how successful they'll be as an NBA player. And yes, you mentioned with the Kings, he's now with the Indiana Pacers, and the Indiana Pacers, I believe, are all in on Tyrese Haliburton.
Oh,
and because of that, it opens up the ceiling for him if he chooses to step into it. If he chooses to do the work, if he chooses to improve his abilities, it's open, since the team and their standing is all here for it. So yeah, they're all in for him. And I think that has a lot. His situation is a great catalyst on how high his ceiling can be, for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about LaMelo Ball. He was also drafted in 2020 behind Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman. The funny thing is, right before the 2020 draft, that's all we heard. It was like LaMelo Ball. Oh my God, LaMelo Ball is coming into the league. I can't say that he's lived up to the hype. I cannot say it. Does he have the potential? Absolutely. But he is often injured. And a lot of people, the streets are talking in Charlotte, saying that he does not take the game serious. But that's not good. Even though the Charlotte Hornets appear to be all in on him too. They paid him his money. But LaMelo Ball, I don't know. I'm not sold quite yet.
LaMelo Ball for me is the entertainment piece of basketball. Entertainment piece, right? Yes. Will he put bodies in the seats? Absolutely. For the Hornets, yes, of course. Can he be exciting to watch? It's nice seeing his hair bounce up and down the court. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's entertainment. Like, I miss the intense skill level. I miss it. People in the comments love LaMelo Ball. But I guess if you would, everybody has their players that they really root for. And if you go to any comments where he's on a post and somebody's ex post, they speak highly of him, and that's fine. So for me, he's entertainment piece. Is that a ceiling worthy? Is the ceiling open for him? I don't know. I can't say. Do we see him changing his style, improving his style, being more defensive minded, adding that a little bit to his game? I don't see it in him.
I don't either.
I don't. So yeah, that's LaMelo.
Yeah, he's very popular. Piece. Yeah, very popular player. Oh, yeah. Made it to the All-Star team, won Rookie of the Year. I mean, it's just yeah. I know. All right, so Cade Cunningham over there in Detroit. Detroit year after year have not been very competitive. Poor guy has to play for a team that's always like 14, 15 in the Eastern Conference. You had talked about the success of a player riding heavily on where they get drafted, and this is a clear example of that.
This is it. You want to know what it looks like? Look at Cade Cunningham. His potential, his visibility, his development is being lost with the Detroit Pistons. It would behoove his agent to try to get him up out of there. I'm just saying. It would, but if they're not in discussions right now with other teams on how they can get him out of the right. If his ceiling is remotely going to be open, if he has an opportunity to really showcase all the talent, he was drafted. The reason why he was drafted number 1 overall in 2021 is because of the talent he was supposed to bring to the NBA. Getting smothered with the Detroit Pistons. I'm just sorry. And so, yes, situation, the team that you're drafted on has a lot to do with how successful you will be in your career with the NBA. And yes, he should be able to put the team on his back. But the Detroit Pistons team itself just ain't the place for him. Unfortunately, when you're looking at players like Tyrese Haliburton, LaMelo Ball that we talked about previously, your situation has to be right, and his isn't. So I think that his lack of visibility just hinders him from showcasing to the world outside of his what do they call it? His market, outside of his market to everybody else. If you're not a lover of the game, you don't even know who that is.
You really
you don't know who it is, and that's unfortunate, right? So
yeah,
I think
but
Cade Cunningham has a lot to offer, but we just don't see it enough.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he played well in college, and he was all excited, at the draft. They interviewed him for an extensive period of time. They really thought he was going to pick up the Detroit Pistons and bring them to the promised land, but it has not happened quite yet. It just hasn't.
No, when they said the number 1 draft pick in the Detroit Pistons, I was like, his career is over. No, yesterday.
Yeah, no. And to think he received, I think he was third in Rookie of the Year votes. Ultimately, Scotty Barnes won that Rookie of the Year award, but I was like, Cade Cunningham, okay, dude appears to be quite injury prone. He played 64 games in his rookie year. Second year, it went down to 12 games. He missed 70 games in his second season. And in the third season, he went back up to 62 for a total of 138 games. Now, granted, he has 1 year less of development than these other players because he was drafted a year after them, but still. But still.
Yeah, no, it's the situation. I mean, like, he's 6'6". Yeah. Like, is he the new coming of Ben Simmons?
Oh,
we won't see it. Not with the Detroit Pistons, we won't. So one that can shoot, a guy that can shoot.
That is messed up. Okay. On that note, let's move to Tyrese Maxey. Oh, Tyrese Maxey. Man, Tyrese is in a perfect situation with the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't think it started out that way with Doc Rivers at the helm. Right. I think Doc stunted his growth just a little bit. But Tyrese Maxey has a wonderful work ethic. Everybody knows about it.
Anyway. 2024 All-Star. What? Most Improved Player Award in 2024. I mean, and I see his leadership developing as well. I mean, started off as a role player, became a starter. Now I see him as 1A next to Joel Embiid. That's how I see him. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and his transformation in 2024 was something to watch. And so he positively impacts the game as well. You look forward to seeing him. His pace is amazing. He's just everywhere. Does he even get tired? I mean, I just am so impressed with his play and his ability to continue to grow his game. I saw this one. I think he's he's one of the spokespersons for New Balance. And it was this post I saw where he was, kind of in front of a chalkboard with X's and O's. And the post said, "I'm a student of the game." I said, exactly. Exactly. It coined him exactly. And so I see that. So, his situation is solid. The Philadelphia 76ers are a team. You can tell they're all invested in him, right? He has an opportunity under his new coach, Nick Nurse, to further develop who he is. Like, I don't know. Tyrese Maxey is doing it. And he's in a situation that allows him to do it. So, yeah.
Can we talk about him being the 21st pick in the 2020 draft? Usually, all the hype goes to the first three.
Mhm.
In this case, LaMelo was number one. No, correction, LaMelo was number three. We did not hear about Tyrese Maxey at all until he stepped foot into the Philadelphia 76ers.
This is
See,
my
yeah,
point.
that's what I'm talking about. You know, you think about players drafted mid to low second round of the NBA draft, and you're like, oh, they must not be really good players. But sometimes you can find some gems. Look at Nikola Jokic, look at Tyrese.
Ooh.
You know, it goes on and on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you want to know, so this leads me to believe that the first 10 of the draft pick may not really be the men. They may not really be it. They were great in college, phenomenal in high school, got all the accolades, but sometimes that is not translating into professional basketball, to the NBA at the professional level, unfortunately. And if your situation, i.e. Cade Cunningham with the Detroit Pistons, is not as flourishing as it should be, then you're further stunted. So yeah, no, I think that has a lot to do with it. So, but Tyrese Maxey, great situation with the Philadelphia 76ers, great work ethic that you have to bring yourself. They can't give you that. You come to the league with that, right? And regardless of where you're drafted, i.e. Nikola Jokic, you can still have a positive impact on this game and still win awards and still win a championship. So I think that he's in a good position to be able to win a championship. And if I'm thinking about the four on this team, he really should be the next up to win one with the Philadelphia 76ers, considering that Joel Embiid, I mean, is the process almost over? But I digress.
All right. So if I had to rank these guys, I would have to go Tyrese Maxey at number one. I think he has the highest ceiling of these four.
100%. Highest ceiling. And we're talking about current body of work is proving that to me. I don't feel like he's maxed out on what he has to offer to the NBA. I don't feel that way. So yes, Tyrese Maxey is number one for me.
Okay. And then I'm going to go to Tyrese Haliburton. He's number two for me.
Got it. Girl, get off my page. Yes, I feel likewise with Tyrese Haliburton. His situation is solid. And I believe he has the leadership ability and the work ethic to make sure that he continues to grow in the league, right? It's about what you continue to do. And I believe that he'll continue to add to his game year over year. So yeah, Tyrese Haliburton is second for me. Yes.
Yes. And then for 3 and 4, for me, they're interchangeable, but I went with LaMelo at 3 and Cade at 4.
I went with Cade at 3. Cade at 3, because I still believe there is some untapped potential that we have yet to see because of his situation. And if I had to choose between Cade Cunningham and what I believe he has to offer, considering he's also injury prone, and what entertainment LaMelo Ball has to offer, you know, from the grand scheme scope of the game, it's going to be Cade Cunningham. And then I have LaMelo Ball as 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, all things equal, I don't know, Dunk Central, if they anticipated all guards on this post or just players within the same type of, years in the NBA. I think I would add Anthony Edwards, seeming as though he was a number one pick, right, for the 2020 NBA draft. Why shouldn't he be on his post along with his other draftees? Why not? Go with Anthony Edwards or Precious Achiuwa, who was drafted number 20. I would even go as far as say Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard, he's the NBA champion right now with the Boston Celtics, or even Desmond Bane. You know, Desmond Bane drafted number 30 in the 2020 NBA draft. And then my last one is Isaiah Joe, sitting over there with the OKC Thunder, making a really good impact. Yeah, just got paid too. Why not?
I'm gonna stretch it. This person went undrafted in 2021. On the list, did not get picked. Austin Reeves. Y'all. You know, so I know we always look at the people that are drafted, but Austin Reeves is making a name for himself with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm sorry. They need him on the floor. They need that on the floor. And so, yeah, why not? Why he can't be on the list? Is his ceiling high? Absolutely. And even to be high while you're playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, which a lot of players were unable to do. It is difficult to shine. It's difficult to be seen when you are newly drafted playing for the Lakers. And he was able to do that. And I mean, what else can I say about Austin Reeves? Although he was undrafted, but it was still during the 2021 NBA draft where he went undrafted. So come on. You can even be undrafted and still shine in this league and still have a high ceiling. And I think he has that.